This morning, a warning for drivers as more than 1.7 million Georgia students are heading back to the classroom. Children are back on sidewalks, bikes, and of course at bus stops as well. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says more than 1 in 4 child pedestrian deaths happen between 3 and 6 p.m., the largest share of any time period. And it's not just at marked crosswalks. Nearly 7 out of 10 deaths happen along neighborhood roads, right near bus stops, and right around driveways. Added to this, a study from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety shows close to a quarter of state drivers showed some form of distraction while they were out on the road. Back with us this morning is AAA spokesperson Montrae Waiters. Montrae, always great to have you on this morning. So a lot of kids are already back in class this morning. What is the single biggest change that drivers need to make as those students are now back in school?
Hi for having me. I would tell you the biggest concern is that children can be unpredictable, as you stated. They may dart into the streets, cross between parked cars, or be distracted while walking. So when you're driving near a school, expect the unexpected. Children may not always see traffic, so drivers need to be prepared to react.
Yeah, you got to be ready. You know, a lot of students are walking to the bus stop. They may just be walking to school from their homes. So from the moment a child leaves their home until they come back at the end of the day, what are some of the dangers that they face along the way and along those routes?
Absolutely. So one thing is, again, drivers not paying attention, right, to the students that are walking. And what we found is where it is most dangerous is when students are getting on the bus or getting off the bus. So it is very important that when you see that school bus arm come out to tell you to stop, that drivers stop. Because again, when we talk about kids being unable, they could dart out in front of the road. So it's very important that drivers are not driving distracted. They're slowed down, and when they see that arm out, that they stop and wait till kids get to their to the crosswalk safely.
Yeah, we have seen the dangers of when that does not happen. You know, AAA has had this long-standing campaign. In fact, it dates back to 1946. What has changed, though, and what has stayed the same with the campaign that you all continue to push every year?
So that's a great question. I will tell you, basically, it's the same over 80 years. You know, that's why it's very important for drivers to slow down, pay attention to your speed. Do not drive distracted, especially during those hours when kids are getting on the bus or when they're coming home in the afternoon. It's all about the driver staying focused. The message is the same. Slow down, don't drive distracted, and watch out for our kids.
You know, we talked about some of the highest number of crashes and incidents happen in the afternoon when school is letting out. That means a lot of times around those school zones, people have to be really careful when they're heading home or even heading to pick up their children. What are some of the most common mistakes you see drivers making passing through those school zones?
Speed. You know, we can't talk enough about speed. Speeding through the school zone, or assuming that the bus is getting has cleared all the students out and is safe to go, even though they see the stop sign still out. So again, speed and distraction are the most common things that we see when it comes to children being impacted by drivers speeding and being distracted, not paying attention.
In Montrae, we're also seeing a lot more e-bikes and e-scooters out there. I see them every day, you know, driving around Atlanta, and that's also become a part of your campaign and your initiative as well.
Right. So e-bikes and e-scooters have added a new safety challenge. So parents should make sure children wear their helmets, understand the rules of the road, and use appropriate devices. You know, drivers should be on the lookout for e-bikes and e-scooter riders, especially in neighborhoods and near the schools. So bottom line is e-bikes and e-scooters aren't toys. They can reach significant speed, so it's important for parents, riders, and drivers to share the road safely.
Okay, Montrae, before you go, anything else that parents should know? I know a lot of parents, you know, they go to that pickup line. It can be crowded during the drop-off or the pickup. Anything they should know as they are getting there today and, you know, getting going with this new school year?
Hey, pack your patience. It's the first day of school. You know, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, not just with parents driving, but with the students. So again, pay attention, slow down, put those phones away, and stay alert around school zones and crosswalks as well as spot
Yeah,
signs.
it really is a community effort. We all have to be aware and be safe to keep our children safe. Montrae Waiters, thanks so much.
Thank you.